Oh, you bitch, you bitch, you.
The Star.
Yeah, y'all already know. Seven the pan. That dude Fizz on the beat. Yeah. We live in entertainment. Sound change. Crown the kings, homie. This is where it get ill. About to have the tip off live as a tip drill. From the court to the diamond, to the track, to the big skin, flying around the field, starting five forever, keeping it real. If it matters in the world of sports, teams and long sleeves, they taking no shorts. Hot the depot, yes, these other sports podcasts live as a pros course. Biz market wave, the starting five goes off. No matter who you cheer for, emotions out the window, they analyzing with clear thoughts. They take it way deeper than the force ever. No longer got any use for the four letters. The latest news, score stats and the view from the sideline. Ain't no guideline, it's just the truth. Yeah, no need to dig for a pardon line. It's always in season if people start five. We going in on three, run the baseline, start five. We got what you need. If the sports news you see, we don't waste time. We talking cause we live it. We got what you need. We going in on three, run the baseline, start five. We got what you need. And y'all know me, seven sign, I'm the illest cat spit. I got what you need.
I wish I could have showed y'all the dance move that these two Negroes was doing below me while the intro song was going on. I really, really wish I could show you. Yo, y'all know who I am already. You know what this is. Newest episode of the Star 5 podcast. As always, hit that box next to the man that was that way.
Yeah.
Good job. He got the finger in the box now. And let the people know who
I
you
got
are.
the box today, Ty. I got the box.
That's all right.
What's up, y'all? We coming back again. Gorgeous day outside. Giving you what you need. Yes, we were dancing because we got one of the dopest theme songs for our podcast ever. Fuck what you heard. I'll put it up against anybody else's show for podcast themes. And I'm guarantee you we top 3 to 5 because I don't hear nobody else's shit sounding like ours. All right. With that being said, it's been a great weekend. I saw my daughter this week. She came in from Cali, had a nice time with her. Went to a pool party yesterday. Family's around, saw my nephew. Just been positive vibes all week and all weekend long. So I'm trying to live in that pocket area and maintain that into this upcoming week and moving forward. What's up, Ty?
What's up?
This
I'm glad
guy
to be
was
here.
throwing gang signs up during the dancing.
Oh yeah, yo, the shit is catchy, but I don't know how to dance. So you just whatever you just kick it out. You know what I mean? So that's what I was doing. I just was kicking some shit out. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. I had a cool week. Nothing special happened. But I was a little bit disappointed in the NBA, but we're gonna get to that. And yeah, I'm ready to go.
Word. My week was whatever. Having to pick up garbage on a holiday week. I mean, well, I didn't have to pick. Well, actually, I did pick up some, try to help people, but also to remind people, like, yo, I ain't that far removed from doing what they do now. Plus, also, like, nigga, you ain't doing this shit right. Like, come on now. For once in a while, just to help. Yo, one of the nights I had, these guys, they started the night, gave them a truck, assigned them a truck. Oh, this truck ain't starting. All right, we gotta go. We gotta find a truck. I have to drive them to another district to get a truck. By lunchtime, yo, Dinkins, we gotta down this truck because the hopper's not working. Great. So now get them to go to the garage. We had empty trucks. They're on their third truck that they touched for the night. And then because of the length of time they were taking, I had to ride with them to make sure they wasn't joking around. And then the third truck, a few minutes before cutoff time, also decides to go down. So I had the latest night I've ever had in the street, where I was out there damn near 11:30 almost, because my trucks kept breaking down, and but that's too much inside baseball. So yeah, I just needed a day off. Y'all had good weeks. I just needed a day off. I just needed a day off, man.
Nice.
Word. But somebody that we're gonna talk about it later, as the question asks, can you count to 34? You know, we had a couple
More
people
like
that
that
got.
Southwest.
I said we have a few people that just needed a day off and are gonna get multiple, with the exception of one. But Anthony Edwards, Carl Anthony Towns, Rudy, no defense in the playoffs, go Bear, and the rest of the Minnesota Timberwolves, which I'll actually be going back to Minnesota in August. Shouts out to my boy Jason and his future wife. But Minnesota Timberwolves fall to the Dallas Mavericks. And a lot of people, just because of the way that they jumped out the gate for 2 games, they was crowning this man. They was crowning Anthony Edwards. He was the next Jordan. He was the next this. They're gonna beat the piss out of this team and that team and yada yada yada. What happened, TJ?
What really killed him, he said, was, I'm going to guard Kyrie. I'm going to take Kyrie 1-on-1. And it was just downhill after he made that statement. Yeah, they won a couple of games, but I saw this question on the social medias. Is this one of the most talented backcourts we've ever seen? Is it like top 5 in terms of skill level and talent on the offensive end? You talking about
We,
2 shot leaders that can get buckets whenever they want?
I think we need to see more time with that combination, because flash in the pan, moment, prisoner of the moment thinking, absolutely. Absolutely, because like the homie Jamal shared in our group chat the video, like no wonder why Luca is so calm and unrattled. Look at the shit that he used to have to play in. Like
Oh yeah,
the boy has been a
yeah.
professional from his teenage to adult life already. I don't think any situation truly rattles this man. And even with Kyrie, with all the bullshit self-inflicted or not, he's never really shown to be rattled in the league. No matter how much controversy and nonsense he even starts. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's never shown to be shaken off his square.
I don't think he's going to be rattled just because of his skill level. Like, he understands his skill level. Like, he knows his handle is top tier. He can get to the bucket anytime he wants, and his mid-range jump shot is one of the best, if not the best, in the league right now. Like, as long as he gets to his spot, he's good. His layup package is insane. The shots he makes when he's next 3 feet from the rim, left hand, right hand switch, fake, dish, whatever. He can do it all. His court awareness is above and beyond. His understanding the moment. His basketball IQ is elite. His handle is elite. His finishing at the rim is elite. It's all elite. So I don't think he gets rattled in that sense, because if he needs to get a bucket, he'll get it. You literally have to put 4 dudes on him at one time, and then he'll just pass it for the open layup. So I don't think the way he handles pressure and the way Luka had to handle pressure coming up are two different roads to get there, but they're both at the same level in terms of handling the pressure at this point in their careers. Like, no stage is too big for either one of them right now to perform. And I think that growing confidence and knowing that they can attack the basket at will against the best or the elite that's in front of them has grown their confidence through the roof. They're just right now playing at just such a high level right now. You can't tell them shit. That's why this matchup with the Celtics is going to be very interesting. They got a big team, long team. So we'll see how that defense affects how they play. But right now, they're playing minds.
And that right there, Tyrone, I wanted to segue to Boston, but I know you have a point on this, so have at it.
Well, you said that you got to give Kyrie and Luka more time to say that they are one of the best backcourts in NBA history. But my problem is this. It's the backcourt. So what backcourts are we comparing them to? Because most of the great duos in NBA history weren't the backcourt duos. You know, Jordan and Pippen. Pippen was a small forward. So who are we comparing them to? What backcourts is better than them? Because if you want to compare them, you can maybe say Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas. You might compare them. Maybe. But I think offensively,
Clyde and Earl of Pearl, if you're going back way back, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, so the closest comparison we have,
brothers.
But the Splash Brothers aren't as good as Luka and Irving. Like Klay Thompson cannot do what Kyrie Irving does at all. Yeah, Kyrie Irving is a better basketball player than Klay Thompson, easily to me.
No. There's no. But I'm not. Hold on. I'm not arguing that. We're just trying to bring up names as you requested.
Yeah. So
trying to bring up names, and Klay is one of the greatest shooters we've ever seen in this game. But that's it. So I agree with you.
So what I'm saying is, if we got Luka and Kyrie, and we're calling them one of the best backcourts, and you're saying I don't have to see more, because if I compare them to the backcourts that I've seen that have been great, they're in that conversation right now. Now, if they start winning championships,
of course,
then then it's different. But for right now, I don't need to see more, because what I'm going off right now is Steph and Klay, and Kyrie and Luka is on that level. They haven't won the championships, but they're on that level.
But maybe that's the point that I'm hanging my hat on for this conversation. And we know these conversations like this, points and shit can move around, be subjective, come in when necessary, just to make it sound right. Maybe this is one of them times where I'm thinking, yeah, it might have to be championship material. It might have to be okay when we get the ring, because it's the same argument that like people will try to use to continue to keep a Jordan up top or Brady up top, or like I say, I thought Dan Marino was better than freaking Tom Brady at one point. You know what I'm saying? But when the rings are the separators of greatness, and so like you can have whatever category you want, but then you got to build a category for who won championships. So maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Kyrie and Luka got to get to you won a championship part for this kind of conversation. And like he mentioned, he said Earl of Pearl, and I forgot who we mentioned, Joe Dumars and
Frazier.
Thank you, Frazier.
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas. We thought Splash Brothers. It's
a short list.
It's a short list of like the greatest of the greats. But I also say we got to kind of, because that would take some researching on, because my mind is definitely not jogging on no rosters that deep and tight right now. But I'm sure that there was great combinations out there. But then again, it's the whole, yeah, but okay, Rob Rory got seven ring. You know what I'm saying?
Let me.
You gonna say Starks and Jackson?
No. I was gonna rephrase it and say
Charlie Ward and Allen
as
Houston.
compared to duos. Where do you see these ranking as dynamic duos? Like, you got the Shaq and Kobe, you got LeBron,
dynamic
and Dwayne
duos.
Wade.
They're not there yet. They're not even there yet.
Okay. That's what okay.
Yeah. Duos.
It's too broad. It's too broad. Okay. All right. That's fair.
Backcourts does like kind of tighten up the conversation. But it's that subjective. What are you trying to argue your point off of? You know, like it sounds like an ESPN stat. Like Luka and Kyrie are the greatest point guards ever in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter with 5 timeouts left. And you know what I'm saying? Like ESPN like stats.
And down 6 points and shit. Yeah.
Right. They're the best point guards ever with comebacks when somebody didn't tie their shoe the right way. You know, a little kid spilled his popcorn in the stands in the fourth quarter with 30 seconds left to go and an 8-point deficit to make up. They are the greatest to ever make them up.
That's right. And that's right. You say backcourt so you don't sound stupid, because in reality, like when you just said duos and you brought up Shaq and Kobe, I was already like, no, they're not that. Like, that don't even sound right. You know
they're not that because they haven't won anything yet, correct?
Oh, they also haven't been together as long as these other teams.
They're not that because it's Shaq and Kobe. They're not Jordan.
No, but that was you're hanging your hat on just one name though, because we didn't even get to running off names yet, and they don't hang their hat on nobody. You know, of course, Shaq and Kobe easy.
All
you
right.
know, fucking again, Jordan Pippen,
right.
Fucking anybody, the Splash
LeBron
Brothers,
and D Wade.
Yeah,
right.
You could go down the list. There's a long list of dynamic duos. So
Timmy and David Robertson.
And Robertson.
Or
you can even say Parker.
And they wouldn't even make the top 10 probably.
Yeah, they would have to rack up a few chips to be considered in those duos. I don't know if they can rack up a couple of chips. I know they could. They definitely have the talent to win one, maybe two. Now, does this go to the parity in the league? Like, there's no dominant teams anymore, or is just because all the injuries happened, we haven't seen everybody at full strength to say who's the legit best? You know what I'm saying? Like, parity in the league, everybody's fucking really good right now. Like, everybody's really good right now, with the exception of a few teams.
I would try to see. It's hard to use the injury thing because the defending champs were at full strength.
Well, nobody said injury. They asked parity.
He said with the injuries and stuff.
I said because with teams that were not at full strength, is this a little bit jaded? Is parities have something to do with it, or because teams weren't at full strength, we weren't able to see who was truly the top dog? But I don't see any dynasty teams coming out of either East or the West right now.
Well, that's why I said that injuries could play a part in it, except for the fact that the top dogs, the defending champs, the number one team in the NBA, the team that was supposed to be going back, lost, and they were at full strength. So So the injuries didn't play a part in the changing of the guard, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
So that's so your answer is there is way more parity in this league.
Definitely.
Because that's exactly where I was going to, is that it really, the way that these teams are all set up now, it really does feel like there's nobody that can really truly make a dominant run anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody seems pretty balanced, even some of the bad teams.
Well, you know what? So now, even though I don't like the man, not personally, I just sports hate LeBron. It's a sports hate. Even though I don't like LeBron, and we give LeBron credit for all the bad shit. We give LeBron credit for all the bad shit. But now that with the parity in the league, I think we can go back and we can give LeBron credit for this. Because LeBron made this happen. When LeBron went to Miami, and everybody was like, oh shit, LeBron built that super team, whatever. And then the Warriors, and then all of these teams came. So now LeBron made it. So now these teams are saying, hey, we need 3 guys. We need at least 3 guys. And now these teams are more built. They're more built to have at least 3 guys now. And now every team in the league is trying to get that. And that's where the parity comes now, because every team now has 3 guys that they can count on to help them.
Go ahead, TJ. I could think I remember my point, but go ahead.
I would say not 3. You need 2 solid guys, but what the Knicks showed me this year is you need depth. You need depth. You need somebody past
Not
your two
depth.
guys or
Depth.
three guys to help. Yeah, depth. To maintain that lead or to keep you in the game when the starters are out, where you can be down 6 to 8 points and when the guys come back in, just keep it close for us so we can come in and do our thing. But that's all we actually need to do. Depth is a real thing, and I don't think a lot of teams took that shit seriously, and maybe until like the past 2 or 3 years. And now you're seeing that, if your team can go 6, 7, 8 deep, you're going to make a serious run in this league. And just because the maybe one of the top scorers is down, don't count that team out, because these other dudes are really stepping up and punching up into their weight class to make sure that they can carry their team on to the next round. That's what it seems like to me. It's definitely the benches have gotten a lot better.
Well, yeah, and also too, this season, parity wise, it showed even if you have an air quotes big three, that don't mean shit. Cause go look at what your team not being able to pull it out the way that they're supposed to, and they don't truly have a three. They got a 2 as far as superstar name is concerned. But the real team that we would have to go to in that case,
but they lack depth. They lack depth, is what we were talking about, Dan. They lack depth.
Yes, but that's not even my point to what I was trying to get to. The real team, when you mention this quote unquote big three shit and needing 3 superstar shit this year, was the Phoenix Suns. And then it was the LA Clippers. Then it was the LA Clippers, which showed that like that whole big three shit. Nah, you really this season, like TJ just said, you need 2 and you need depth. But also too, just the point I wanted to make before about giving LeBron the credit for all of this change. Like we can do that because this is the era when people decided to finally pay attention to the shit. We remember, I'm gonna go shoot, and this ain't a shot at y'all. This is a shot at the super stands. Y'all forget Jordan reminding people, yo, we ain't gonna win another one if we don't get Dennis Rodman, making an air quotes celebrity type player, superstar name, big three with him, Pippen, and Rodman. So I mean, this happened with Jordan. This was quote unquote some of these Lakers teams from the 80s and 70s. This was the Celtics teams that, yeah, they drafted well, but they were super fucking teams. When you got a great majority of your starting lineup becoming Hall of Famers and shit like that, we've always had these super teams. The only thing is LeBron became the poster boy.
No, but it goes back to like I was saying before when we had the super teams conversation. It was the perception. Back then, when the Lakers had Magic and Kareem, we didn't perceive that James Worthy was going to be a superstar. We didn't perceive that. It was just, okay, Worthy's joining the team, so it didn't seem like a big three.
You're right.
Rodney was not perceived as somebody that was going to take Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen over the top. So it didn't seem, it wasn't a perception of a super team. You know what I mean?
But did you hear how I described it though when I said celebrity big name? Because Rodman was one of them names that was a very attractive person, not in that kind of sense, but attractive to anybody's roster. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
It didn't feel like that when they did it back then. You know what I mean? We didn't.
Oh no, it did to me. It did to me because nigga, we was victims.
It did to us Knicks fans. It did to us Knicks fans. I don't know what the fuck you talking about, bro. When they got Rodman, I was pissed.
We need to call Top Dog Law after that. We need to call Top Dog Law and get some of the money for the fucking pains and sufferings and shit. Niggas is going back 20, 30 years to get people now. Top Dog Law. Top Dog Law. Us Knicks fans are injured. We hurting out here.
Mentally.
We even got Bulls fans
Mentally.
making fun of us, yo. Send that 800 number.
The Knicks had problems with the Bulls before Rodman got there. Okay, like stop. Stop acting like Rodman put them over the top, man.
It was a different team.
It was a different team, but they still. I mean, without Rodman, you say, okay, their second three-peat, right? You don't think the Bulls would at least still got one of them, even without Rodman?
They would have got one, but they would have never three-peated like that. And here's the thing: the teams in the West were really strong. You still had Houston, you still had Seattle, you still had Dallas. You had big West teams. Phoenix, Sacramento, the Lakers, you know what I'm saying? San Antonio for a bit. You still had big teams out in the West. And all the teams out in the West were always taller than the teams out in the East. I don't know what the fuck they were doing out there, but they were drafting giants, bro. There was always drafting these huge-ass dudes, bro. Bro, these dudes, I forgot the dude on Denver. He was just brolic, and his neck was in his shoulders. They always had big-ass teams out there, and that was hard for the East. As physical and the fighting style the East was, it still didn't match up to the size of the West. You know what I'm saying? We beat the shit out of each other to lose to a West team that was just physically taller and more dominant because you didn't have the size to match it. You didn't have the size to stop at David Robinson. You didn't have the size to stop at Tim Duncan. You didn't have the size to stop a Barkley, Dan Marley, and whoever the hell else Kevin Johnson they had out there. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, that made a big, big, big difference, man. Because you're talking about a guy who don't need the ball to score. He's getting you extra possessions every time. This is a guy averaging 15 to 18 rebounds and scoring 2-3 points a game. And locking your man up on defense. Locking him up on defense. Your man beat the shit out of Karl Malone in a couple of finals, bro.
You want to mute, Dan?
My bad. Shout out to the homie Curtis. He's actually checking in on Instagram today and not YouTube. But he was mentioning shit like, Phoenix and Portland back then. Talking about Olajuwon as being one of them big guys that the West always had. Even though Olajuwon was more East Conference size. He was 6'11", 6'10" center. You know what I'm saying? But we keep fucking ducktailing or whatever tailing or rabbit holing on the off topics of everything. We need to bring this back home and pick who the fuck was winning. Who's winning it all, Tyrone?
This is gonna pain my heart, my soul, my mind, my body, and my spirit. But the Celtics is gonna win it all. Because I know what y'all saying about Kyrie, I know what y'all saying about Luka, but for me, Tatum has to bring this home. He has to, because if not, then we can't keep talking about this kid. Like, it's his time to solidify his stardom. It's his time on the big stage to show up. Boston's been in the mix. Boston's been choking. Boston has went through every aspect of this NBA hill and this road. And so now I think that Tatum knows, I think that Brown knows that it's their time. And they got to take it home, and I think they're going to get it done. I'm picking Boston in 6 games.
I like that because I think this is where TJ's point in depth comes into play. And I think Boston just has more firepower. I'm calling Jaylen Brown to be the finals MVP, not Tatum, even though they're going to want to find a way to force their way to give Tatum that MVP because they've been trying. And major sports media has been trying. Here, Tatum, we want to give you this push. We want to see you get $350 million because your partner got 303 or 304. But I think the man that got that $300+ million contract is going to be the real MVP for the Boston Celtics. If Kristaps comes back, it's a wrap for Dallas. No disrespect. It's a wrap for Dallas, but I'm going with you in 6, Tyrone. TJ.
So I just can't pick Boston to win anything. That's just the hate in my heart.
That's
think
me with
Dallas
the
can
Red Sox.
actually pull the. I think Dallas can actually win this in 6 on their home floor and not go back to Boston. It's like you said, Tyrone. Jason Tatum has to show up, but he's proven time and time again he ain't got that dog in him. He doesn't have that step on your neck mentality, and that's been proven time and time again. He's been to the finals. What's this? His almost 3rd trip to the finals, and they haven't gotten it done. Their savior for these whole entire playoffs has been Al Horford. Wide open in the corner for 3. Wide open in the corner for 3. Drew Holiday is doing all he can. Derek White is doing all he can. Jaylen Brown is a baller. He has that go out and get him dog mentality. If Tatum can't match that, I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them to walk out of there with a W.
That's why that is all the things you said is why I said that it's Tatum. Tatum has to go in, and Tatum has to have that mentality of I've lost long enough. I'm the guy on this team. I got to put this team on my back. Tatum has to do it because if they're going to rely on Brown, like I agree with Dan that Brown could be the Finals MVP, but I feel like if Boston is relying on Brown to take them to the promised land, they ain't going to get there. Tatum has to be the guy on his team at this time to beat Dallas, and that's how I feel. And so if Tatum doesn't get that dog in him, then Boston's not going to win. But I feel like he is. I feel like Tatum's going to come out with that chip, and he's going to win it for him.
Let me ask you this question to both of y'all, to everybody. If Boston doesn't win this finals, what do they do with that team?
Keep it and run it back. You had one
For
of
the
the
same
best
result?
That doesn't mean you're guaranteed the same result. It doesn't mean you're guaranteeing the same results.
They ran it back a few
have,
times already with a similar squad. You know what I'm saying?
So if there's
gotta
nothing
pay
to
Tatum now. $300 million. Like
the only part that can quote unquote need to be blown up would be getting rid of some of the older guys and trying to entice some newer, younger guys, which would be the bigs. Kristaps, you're injured a lot. Peace out. We'll cut you. We'll pay you, but we'll cut you. Al Horford, here's your walking papers. Go retire. You did your time. Go live life. They would have to get rid of some of those older guys first to then see what they can do. But no, when you're having success like this, I've always found it a problem when these teams in these leagues want to break it up just because they couldn't take it. Now, yes, every team that gets that far sometimes it's just could be missing that one piece. Usually is missing actually more than the one piece, but sometimes they're just missing that one piece. In Boston, I'm sorry, when you keep the chemistry, you keep it up. Like, I don't want to segue too far to let Tyrone give his point, but like our Knicks in the 90s, we didn't go crazy like that. We went maybe here and there and got a couple role player fill-ins, but for the most part, during certain segments of the 90s, we've ran with the same team 5-6+ years. How do you build chemistry just like this? Some people, the teams that snap of a finger work, those are success stories that need to be celebrated all the time. But not every team. And again, last point, Tyrone, you can have it. We all played team sports, especially say Little League baseball. You was with, say, one of my old teams, Belfiore Meats. You were with Belfiore Meats until your age range was done, and then you had to move on to another team. And then sometimes that whole team would transition into the bigger league team. You get what I'm saying? But go ahead, Tyrone.
I wholeheartedly agree with Dan. And my point with Boston is break it up for what? You're not going to make no significant changes because the only significant changes you can make to break it up is to get rid of Brown or Tatum, which you can't do that. These guys have been successful. Even if it hasn't led to a championship, they've been successful. So all the rest of the breaking it up is just, like he said, getting rid of older guys and trying to get younger guys in there, which may or may not make a significant difference. So you don't break that up. But here's my problem with breaking it up. The Lakers came off a three-peat, lost in the Western Conference Finals, and then the year after that lost in the finals against Detroit. and they decided to break it up. Now, to me, three-peating, going to the Western Conference Finals, and then going back to the finals again is not a failure. You know what I mean? So to break that team up, get rid of Shaq and all that was fucked up.
Here's a better point. Your Bubbles Lakers team that won it, they should have never dismantled that after they won. And look where they've been at after this point. They had a solid team. They went to the finals.
You know the problem within that
was a
TJ?
solid team.
You know the problem within in shit like that though? It's like how many 1-year contracts was signed? You know what I'm saying? Like that's just a little monkey wrench into the argument of how many 1-year contracts are signed because hey, we fulfilled your shit. You helped us get to the promised land. We thank you, but we no longer need your services. So sometimes teams put themselves in those positions to have to quote unquote make it look like they blowing it up and rebuilding because you do it on purpose.
But Dan, it worked to win a chip, Dan. It worked to win a chip. So why wouldn't it work again?
Because guess what? You won the chip.
Wouldn't it work again?
You won the chip. Your player number 8 on the bench. My 20 minutes combined in the semifinals and the finals helped us get over the hump. I deserve more money. Guess what? We can't sign you for more money. I'm just saying, when you're in those 1-year deals,
you're right, because
you know what I'm saying? That's one of the aspects of you're in a 1-year deal.
No, you're absolutely right, because
more money.
This new collective bargaining agreement with the in NBA with the tax apron, the first level and the second level, and you can't go above and beyond to sign the players that you have on your roster and stuff like that. And if you want to let somebody go or trade them, the salaries have to exactly match to the penny. It's some wild shit. Like, I don't know why they agreed to that, but
and then even like the fucking, the max deal shit. Like, yeah, you could stay with your team and get you could be kind of close to do 250 plus million, or if you go to another team, you can only cap at like 150 something.
Here's where I feel like the leadership of the team is involved. Here's where I feel like the Lakers could go to LeBron and go, hey, LeBron, listen, man. Listen, these are the numbers. These are the rules. We want to keep Kuzma and all those guys here. We just won a championship with them, man. Can we restructure your shit? And LeBron as a leader can say, you know what? Yeah, go ahead and restructure my shit. You know what I mean? LeBron don't need no fucking money. So, you know what I mean? So it's like,
so what? You don't think that conversation was had, though? You don't think that conversation was had?
LeBron say.
That'd
LeBron said no.
That was a gross error if that conversation wasn't had.
Yeah, and you know what happened? The leadership, the man, LeBron James said, no, we got me and AD. We cool with anybody. Because that's his ego and his mentality to say, me and AD, if we ball out, we cool with anybody on this team. And look where you got.
Yeah.
Until AD, a.k.a. Mr. Glass, is out for fucking 30 games a year. And then that plan goes to shit. That plan goes to shit.
What about what happened this year? AD was healthy. And Denver still tore him out the frame.
But AD was healthy, but he was playing out of position. AD is not a center. He's a 4. He's a very good 4.
So what?
But they want to put him at the center position.
Yeah,
and it doesn't work.
And that's why I said, like, I love a guy like JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee was a dude that would go in at center, and he wasn't going to get you a lot of points, but he hustled, he played hard, he knew basketball, you know what I mean? And it's like, why did this guy got to keep traveling? I don't understand why teams don't keep dude, man. He's cheap, he works hard, he knows how to play the game. It's crazy.
He does all the dirty shit. He does all the dirty shit nobody wants to do, and he's not recognized for it. He picks up all the garbage. He takes out all the garbage. He cleans up when everybody's leaving the house a mess. And you're like, yo, fuck JaVale, man. And then you go back and the crib is annihilated. And you're like, where's JaVale? You told him to go fuck himself, bro. What do you mean? So can we hire a cleaning service? Who could afford it? You paying for the cleaning service? I'm not paying for the cleaning service. Somebody get JaVale back. JaVale told me to go fuck myself because we told him to go take a hike last week. So now The crib is a mess and nobody wants to clean it up.
Shout out to everybody on the Instagram. Funny enough that we're watching ourselves on delay on Instagram, but everybody up in the comments, word up. Like Kurt mentioned, Celtics have a problem. Tatum and Brown don't like each other. I just said Kurt, but shout outs to Kenny K. Dot. He said Tatum and Brown don't like each other, and Brown is jealous of him. I don't see how you win that way. I don't see how you came up with that fucking comment.
How is Brown jealous of Tatum when Brown's the one with
you
the
know
contract?
how light skin? You know how light skin?
Drake versus Kendrick on their own team. But Kurt said AD was mostly available this year, which we mentioned, and then he gave you the JaVale McGee when you mentioned him. Because you're right about JaVale McGee, man. Like he's that cat that he don't even need a lot of minutes, but when you need to hustle, you need to get back on you need to make a comeback defensively, boards and all of that. He's gonna give you all of that. He knows his role and shuts his mouth. Quote The Rock.
Dan, how many times have we said we seen a guy on a team who's a backup or a sixth or eighth man off the bench who's playing his fucking heart out? He's diving on the floor, he's grabbing the extra rebound. That changes the momentum of the game. And he might get mentioned in the press conference. When
that's
such and such grabbed his rebound.
That's why there's a 6 Man of the Year award.
Of the game.
Who's that piece of shit guard that played for Cleveland when they beat Golden State, the little white boy? He was running all around, diving all over the floor and stuff.
I forgot. I know. I think he's back in Australia playing basketball.
Man, that little dude got a lot of credit for what he was doing. Because I kept saying, this motherfucker's everywhere. He only played a little bit, but every time they brought him in, his man was on the floor.
But he did his job, and he knew what his job was. You know what he was? He was this. TJ McConnell was that guy on the Warriors that you're on the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's who TJ McConnell was. Pain in the ass. He's going to use his foul smartly. You know what I'm saying? But he's going to press you because that's his job. He's going to press you, and if he's wide open, he's going to knock down the shot. And that's all you want. That's all you want from this guy. Press, play defense, and if you're wide open, take the shot and knock it down. We're not asking you to create. We're not asking you to run the offense. Nothing. This is your role, and accept it. And those guys don't get appreciated enough for that shit.
Matthew Dellavedova was his name.
Yeah.
Curtis
Dellavedova.
Curtis gave the last name on Instagram, and that just triggered. Yep. There you go. That was him, man. Yeah, I would say
Curry hates that motherfucker. Steph Curry hates that
motherfucker. So what I was going to say to your point, TJ, was like, yo, that's why there's a 6th Man of the Year award, because you need that next up off the bench who's ready to give it all at any time. Regardless, scoring, rebounding, more defense, or tighter defensive presence, all of that. Like, there's a reason why there's an award for that, to award that next man up mentality, that next man up level of play. And realistically, like I said, you need all of that to win. You need all of it.
Goes back to my point of depth, Dan.
Yep.
Right back to depth.
Yep. But we're going to talk about how deep does your felony pocket go in a little while, because we wasn't aware of it, but I'll ask the question the way the article I read on ESPN did. I guess I'm gonna pronounce this guy's name right or wrong. I don't know. Zhili Zhang KO'd Deontay Wilder in the 5th round in a fight that, again, we wasn't even aware that there was a fight. I kept hearing from everybody, yo, UFC's on. I didn't know about this boxing match going on, but the question, yes, I know you did, Tyrone, but the question I want to ask for this, just because being fair, we didn't see the fight, but is Deontay Wilder done?
Done. He's a roasted pig, okay? Because he said all this shit when he was knocking people out, right? And he was the haymaker dude, and he was the bomber, right? And then when that didn't work, he came back and said, "Oh, I'm going to be training. I'm switching up my style. I'm going to be better." And then that didn't work. And now, whatchamacallit, Furry cheated, and Furry's a cheater, and I was gagged, and that didn't work. And now he came out and he got beat by this guy who was supposed to be subpar or whatever. And so now what else can he do? He can't revamp his style. He can't change his image. He can't fight. I mean, he's not going to beat none of the top heavyweights. He's not going to beat Fury. He's not going to beat Joshua. He couldn't even beat this dude. You know what I mean? So I don't know where he goes. I don't know what he does after that. I don't know who's even going to fight this dude. He doesn't even have a jaw.
This dude is dead and buried for one reason and one reason alone. He never learned how to box. He relied on his right hand, and that's it. I don't even think he needed to learn how to box. All he needed to do was develop a jab. This dude's arms are like fucking 7 feet long. His wingspan is stupid. All he had to do was develop a solid jab to go with that right hand of his, and he would have had a pretty decent career. But this dude is trash. Being trash. He's a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, I kind of agree with this.
Wonder.
I kind of agree with this, tying off of TJ's point right there when he says he's been exposed since Fury. I think a lot of people who paid attention to him from close to day one know he was just the power guy. He was the heavy hitting puncher. Even this guy Zhang gave him credit for, he's a really, really, his punches are as hard as they say they are. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
excuse me, but I think people who know boxing and have paid attention to him knew this guy with no more than power and never displayed the jabs, never displayed, real boxing work, that he just was able to
technical skill whatsoever, Dan. No technical skill whatsoever. The dude was lost in the ring.
Here's also the brain power is to know your fucking opponent. You want him with Zhang, who is a dude that walks around at like 280 pounds. This dude is a big fat dude. He walks around at 280, right? So you're going into a fight with him where he's going to weigh well more than 250. And Deontay Wilder is like 220, 225. So now the one thing that you do well, which is your power, you can't rely on when you're fighting a guy that outweighs you by almost 40 pounds. You can't rely on your power. So you went to a fight to fight a guy. You went to a fight to fight a guy on your comeback fight that your number one thing you rely on you can't use. So what's the logic in taking this fight at all? You can't.
For example, it goes right back to what TJ mentioned, because the boxing skill and the technical skill is just not there in this man. It's just not there. It's just not there. But it's crazy
to learn it. He refused to learn it.
It seems like that. It seems like that each time he, steps into the ring. It shows like whatever fundamentals you went back to learn was lost. But it's crazy to say that he's done and you still have a winning record in your career. But that's what's funny with boxing, though. Like, he's got 4 losses on his record. And he's done. Like, I'm in agreement with y'all. Like, he's done. He's done.
He's become the tomato can, Dan. He's become the tomato can boxer. Like, you're only fighting him to get your rep up, but it's not going to be that much of a rep to get up if you're fighting him. You know what I'm saying?
I guess.
So, what is it going to do for your career if you say I fought Deontay Wilder and I won? No shit. You're a boxer and you know how to box. Of course you won. You know what I'm saying? You have more complete skills than this dude. So that was no big. You're not doing any disservice.
I'm sure that was said about a lot of like the OG fighters though, who were just super hard hitters. But it's still a bad, like getting through George Foreman. No, George Foreman is legend, Hall of Famer, absolute great. But like some of the people that put best to the best over him, it's like, yo, you made it through the storm of George Foreman's punches. Like that's a badge that you could put on your resume. But yeah, it's like I get what you're saying, and you can have it, Tyrone.
Because only like 3 people can say.
Right. Well,
only 3 people can say they survived a barrage of George Foreman's barrage. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And but Curtis said,
That's
can we
tough.
say that? Can we say that he was all hyped for the heavyweight class? That's kind of what we're saying now, Tyrone.
Yes.
Well, here's why
Yes.
he's done. He's in a no-win situation in boxing where the only people that really want to fight him is somebody that's trying to get their rep up. So a young and upcoming boxer, a new guy in the heavyweights that's trying to get his rep up, yeah, he'll take a fight with Wilder because if he beats Wilder, his rep goes up and that might get him in a championship fight. But the reverse of it is, if Wilder beats a young and upcoming heavyweight boxer, it's not going to mean nothing. They're going to be like, oh, that was a guy Wilder should have beat him. If Wilder loses to that dude, it takes his career down. So Wilder right now, the fight that he's going to get puts him in a lose-lose situation.
I don't fully go lose, but to your point, well, make your point and then I'll describe. I could probably give my breakdown off for you.
It's the famous line by Jay-Z, right? You shoot me, you're famous. I shoot you, you still remain nameless. You know what I'm saying? I beat you, you still remain nameless because nobody gives a fuck.
Right, and that
you weren't nobody before you fought me. You're gonna be nobody after you fight me if I beat you.
But that ties right into the point that I was gonna get to, TJ, which was even so. This is how the media could play it, right? Yeah, this, like as Curtis said, Don Flamenco of Mike Tyson's Punch Out. So if Don Flamenco goes in and beats Wilder, right? Okay, we may have a new star on the rise and more cries for Wilder to be done. But if Wilder wins, then it's just like this is a tune-up for the comeback. And they could turn this into storyline to try to make it positive, if you get what I'm saying. It's just a spin on how they do it. So it's to a real boxer like boxing fan like yourself, like you say, it still looks like lose to you, but media spin can make it still look like a win. I mean, a win is a win, but again, it's the perception, like you mentioned earlier, Tyrone, with using the word perception when we was talking basketball earlier. It's the perception in which they spin it.
Well, Deontay Wilder didn't help himself with his mouth neither because he said that this fight was this tune-up fight to his comeback. That's what this fight was. That's all he kept talking about was, I'm back. Back. Right. Yeah, back on that canvas.
Yeah, back on your back.
Yeah,
right. So, but again, so to what the point Tyrone just made, forget what I just said because you just spun yourself into the ground. There's no more spin needed. It didn't work. So in real time, yeah, that's what happened. But yeah, man, yeah, Wilder. Also, it's crazy to say. Go ahead.
Real quick, since we're talking about boxing, the Tyson and Jake Paul fight got pushed back because Tyson had an ulcer or something like that. Something in his stomach has pushed the fight back. Is this going to affect the fight when he comes back healed up, or you think the results are going to be the same?
I think we cancel this fight now because I don't want to see it now. I wanted to see it when they said Mike was in tip-top shape and Mike was ready and Mike was going on here. I don't want to see it now because now it's a built-in excuse for Mike to lose. And now we realize now Mike's not healthy. And I was all excited for the fight because Mike's 57 years old. I'm like, Mike looks good. Mike looks healthy. Mike ready. And now we're finding out Mike's not as healthy as we think he is. So why do it? Now it's like, I don't want Mike out there unhealthy getting into these fights, man. You got an ulcer. You old. Like, chill out, bro. So now it's like it's tainted the fight for me now to find out that Mike's not as healthy as I thought he was. So now I don't even want this shit to happen.
Me and Tyrone agreeing all episode, yo.
You must be high, Dan. You must be high.
I didn't. No. Again, I agree with Tyrone. That because and let's keep real, I wasn't interested in the beginning. I was I gonna watch? Yeah, if I remember it was on. But was I interested? Did I want to see the fight and all that? Like, did this have to be made? I never felt that way. But I feel that way even stronger because of what Tyrone said. Mike, I mean, chill. And if this is going to be postponed, this can't be like postponed like a couple months from now, whatever. Nah, unless the contract says, yo, we got to get this done in a couple months or we ain't going to see this money. If we want to see an actual fight, Mike needs a year just because of his advanced age. Also problems are no joke. I think it said it was like a flare up or something he had, but he is doing fine. He is doing healthy. That's what all the reports have been saying. But yeah, now they just cancel the shit. I'm sorry, Netflix. We all dropped the ball, but we didn't really drop a ball that we didn't know was gonna fall. We didn't know this shit was gonna fall that way. We didn't know it was gonna fall that way. But for Kuntain Clan's sake, this guy's the new entrant, yo, to the Kuntain Clan. Because the last topic is one of the first members, not Kuntain Clan, but Hall of Ignorance. My bad. It's the same shit, it's just rebranded.
Hold on. Are we going to get to the Zoom call guy first, Dan? Or are we going to just jump in?
No, that I was saying this new guy is in the Hall of Ignorance. And I was saying it's preceding the person who's already in the Hall of Ignorance and who's been in. Well, yo, let me pull this up, and y'all just need to hear this shit. Y'all have to hear this shit. And make sure the volume is on and up. Okay, we're good.
Are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually.
This is a drive.
And a pause. The guy, actually, I don't have to pause it because the judge is about to say what it is.
Everyone license suspended.
Let me rewind this a little bit.
This is a driver one license suspended.
That is correct, Your Honor.
And he was just driving. He didn't have a license. I don't even know why he would do that. Are you driving?
Dude, how the fuck? How the fuck? Yo, I mean, I heard about this story because actually,
that's not even a funny part, Dan.
I didn't even get to anything yet.
The funniest part is when the lawyer got silent and couldn't defend.
Yeah, which keep talking because I gotta find the longer video because you even hear the lawyer asking for what they're offering. And they're offering what they're asking.
And the lawyer got completely silent when the judge was like, but he's driving and he's got to suspend the license and he can't drive. That's correct, Your Honor. And there was like a 30-second pause where like he's looking at her like, do you not understand what the fuck is going on right now? Why are you even fixing your mouth to say anything like this at all?
But that's
the girl was hopeless.
That is when, like, as a lawyer, what do? You just get that boot on. Really, nigga? Really? That's what you got to do. Because now you can't spin it. You can't defend it at all. There's nothing you can do as a lawyer. You cannot do your job at all. You just got to stand there and be like, well, just don't. Well, go ahead and throw that book at him because you know what I mean. Like, what do you do?
That was insane. And then he got quiet because the judge asked him directly. He's like, why are you in the car? He's like, I'm just going to my doctor's appointment. He said, but your license is suspended. And he said, yeah. And then it just got quiet. It just got quiet.
I found the longer video. But I gotta repeat something that somebody said on one of the podcasts I heard talk about this. You couldn't put up a fucking background to show you wasn't in a car. You could put up a background. You see who's calling. You have the seatbelt around your waist. Put that shit around your back. No. Try not to show it and put up a fucking virtual background.
No. Zoom court calls are scheduled. So when it hit 9:30 and you knew you had a Zoom court call, you pull over and you get the fuck out of the car. and you go, yeah, I'm just walking. I can't drive, so I'm walking to my doctor's. You know what I mean? You play the game. Like he knew this call was coming in. Like he purposely said, "Hey, Lori, I got something for you. You overcharged me, bitch. Now here you go."
Again, I repeat, if you are going to be dumb enough to doing the very act for why you are in court in the first place, get a virtual fucking background. Get a virtual background. I'm with you, Tyrone. Pull over, get the fuck out the car. I'm sorry, Judge. I'm a minute late. I didn't feel my phone ringing while my fat ass was walking. You know, exercise. I mean, Judge, I'm sorry. You're on them. But yeah, let me get to that video now.
Driving.
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
Okay.
Wait. Okay. So I had to pause it. I wanted to pause it to show what I was talking about. You see how that damn seatbelt is? Drop that shit from behind your back. They're not going to be able to see it in a virtual background, dumbass. But let's keep going.
I'm parking right now.
Okay. So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driver while license
No,
suspended.
you understand.
That is correct, Your Honor.
And he was just driving. And
I know y'all was laughing at that right there.
Yeah, right.
Look at your man. Look at your man. Look at your man standing behind her. Your man standing behind her is cracking up. Your man standing behind her is cracking up, bro.
Yo, this is called that shit you can't make up. You just can't make this shit up.
and he didn't have a license.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie, wait for Mr.
My bad. Hold up. I don't even. Oh, those faces. I can't even go back. My bad. Don't worry about it. Them fucking faces that they froze it on with him. He was like, like yo,
you know what? I'm gonna play devil's advocate and say that this man has got multiple cases, and he answered the phone on the wrong case. That's what I'm saying. He thought that was the drug charge that he was calling in for. So that's why
bro, he had the audacity to say, I'm actually pulling into my doctor's office right now. He had the audacity to say that.
I had a show from the Instagram. Shout out to the homie Steve, longtime friend. He said there's no cure for stupid. Best part of the video is he sucked his teeth when he realized he'd go to jail. Yo, we was talking about basketball. That is called zero court awareness. That is called. It's like you're playing a home game and don't know your home field. Like, what is wrong with you, dude? Like, yo,
dumb is dumb.
I don't even know the man's name, but once we get it,
he deserves it.
Yo, we're gonna scratch his name into the hall.
He deserves everything he gets.
Every bit of it.
He deserves every bit of it. When he heard he was getting a warrant for his arrest, he damn near shut the phone off because there was nothing he could do.
Right, he can't even say my wrong number, bad number. Who this?
For that lawyer, though, she was like this. She was probably like, "Oh, what? I don't say shit now. I don't even want to look." She didn't even want to look at the judge. She like, "I don't know what the fuck going on."
But the other lawyer stood there
laughing,
the other lawyer stood there and still said we were requesting like an extension, I think, on the case or to push the case back. And it's like, nah, fuck no.
That's why I couldn't be a
judge. And
judge,
it seemed like the judge was going to grant him an extension before he found out he was driving in the car.
I think so.
Even the judge was like, okay, maybe I'm not understanding something. I don't even know. The judge didn't even know. Maybe I'm not understanding.
But when he hit that face of like, it was like he hit you with the whole say what now? number. Nigga said, "Oh, and yeah, word." Shit.
Oh, man.
Yo, like Steve
Jesus.
said,
I
you
mean,
can't. That level is stupid. This
You
is
know, as a lawyer, when the judge say something and you have to say that is correct, Your Honor, you already know you kind of losing that case already. That if the judge is correct, then you already kind of losing. So
the lawyer said I ain't sacrificing my career for some motherfucker in the driving with a suspended license.
That's
dude.
correct.
If I was that lawyer in imaginary sense of things, I would have said, Your Honor, I'm no longer on this case.
I would like to withdraw
Listen,
my services.
like no, yeah. Oh, I know, Your Honor. I was court appointed, but please unappoint me, court. Like, nah, I'm walking out.
I recuse myself from this case.
You know, or more, even better, if he don't call Top Dog, as you know, if he don't call Top Dog, I would be like, yo, you owe me double. Like the rates just went up. You want me to defend this level of dumb?
Bro,
The rates just went up.
Bro, he can call Top Dog, Snoop Dogg, Droopy the dog. Nobody's gonna help this motherfucker get out of that situation, bro. He's got to eat all of that. 30 days, 90 days, whatever he's getting in jail. You might as well call his job and be like, yo, I need a 3-month stay. Something happened with my back. I can't work. I'll call you when I can call you when I get out.
TJ, he don't got no job. Because his boss saw that. He already been finished with it. His boss was like, oh no. Ain't that he ain't working for me. He's fired come Monday morning, dog. Fired.
Yo, you lost your license
his last
again.
check.
We don't have no more positions in the warehouse to cover you anymore. I gotta let you go. I gotta let you go.
Damn.
There's nowhere else we can't cover this up no more. We can't. Like, come on. Yo, hold of ignorance. Once we find that guy's name out.
Imagine somebody in his family. I tried. Imagine his family. I told you 1,000 times. Like, this is the last time. If you want to hurt yourself, do that. But you can't come to us for no loans. You can't ask for no money. You can't ask for no handouts. Your resume is trash. You're an internet meme now.
DJ,
it's done.
Even simpler than that. Even simpler than all that. If he's got a wife or a girlfriend, I told your dumb ass not to do it.
What if he got kids? And it's like, yo, son, you need help with your homework? No, Dad, I'm cool, man. You're stupid. You can't. I'm cool, Dad.
Right, you can't even show me how to cheat on this.
I fell on my own like you did. You know what I'm saying?
My own homework.
I feel like you did, Dad. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Jesus. That's wild.
Like I said to my sister the other day.
That is wild.
Why didn't he leave?
Why didn't he leave to the doctor's appointment early? Get there early and call from the parking lot. That's just, I don't even understand the logic behind it. You be like, you got a court date. Let me pull into the doctor's office early, sit out my side of my car, and take this call, and then my life will be good. I'll get the shit extended, and I can go to my doctor's appointment on time and still be driving on the low illegally. Like, none of this made sense.
You're thinking like a logical thinking human being right now. Clearly, logic, common sense. Like I said, lack of awareness, lack of court vision, whatever type of fucking adjective you want to apply to it. Whatever you want to apply to it. Man, listen.
That's terrible.
Man, listen.
That's terrible.
Hall of
hate to see it.
What we don't hate to see, but we're going to hate to see this when the election comes around. The orange Cheeto in charge Donald Trump, 34 felony counts. 34. Hold yeah, my bad. I gotta skip. He said you're obviously neglecting the niggerosity of that guy. But yeah, back to Trumpito. 34 fucking felony counts.
I feel like the jury was in there like not one, not two, not three, but just all of them shits, bro.
Dude, Tyrone,
wild.
the jury was in there with all their hands up like King Kong Bundy. 5 count. It's like, give me the 5 count.
I hate to say this, but Donald Trump kind of was right when he said that this was a political witch hunt, because these 34 counts, if you read them, these and they're felony charges, right? But I feel in my heart, I ain't never ran a business, I ain't never owned a business, I ain't never been involved in a business. But when you read the counts and you read what was done on them counts and all the different accounts, right? In my heart, in my mind, every businessman on the planet has done this. Every businessman on the planet has used the business account for something that it ain't supposed to be used for and made fake invoices or had their lawyer change what it was. I mean, this is something that's practiced in business all the time.
But
Tyrone,
his lawyer actually went to jail for the exact same shit.
His
lawyer got convicted for being the handler for that same shit.
But TJ, it's not just that. Why it's the problem? Because you're right when you're talking about corporations, you're talking about CEOs, shit like that. You're right. That shit like that happens. But when it's publicly donated money that is supposed to only go towards your political campaign, and that money is being used, you technically defrauded the people who donated and gave you that money, because you took the money under false pretenses of, I'm using all of this to run this campaign to win an election. Of course, to do your favors too, but you took this money in order to run a campaign, not to pay off side puss. And that's the problem within it. And that's really what it is. You took campaign money to pay off the side coochie.
I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm saying the timing of it is why are we prosecuting this? For what? What is the purpose of this prosecution? It's to taint his presidency campaign. That's all this was for. This wasn't for to send the man to prison. This wasn't because we felt bad about it because we want to convict him, because we know corporations, we know politicians do this shit. So when Donald Trump said this was a witch hunt to tamper with his campaign, that's exactly what this was. You know what I mean? It's just what it was, because there's no point in doing this. We use federal funding, we use court dates, time, jury, all this stuff for what? To do what?
There was no point. There was no point in Monica Lewinsky's case also.
Nope, absolutely not.
That's you know what I'm saying? Like,
that was also a case just to taint the Clintons. You know why? Because the Clintons was the black president. You know what I'm saying? And so they wanted to get rid of that man. So that was the same thing. It was a witch hunt just to taint his legacy and fuck with his campaign. And that's what this is too.
But you can't say it was to taint his legacy if his lawyer got locked up for the same shit. His lawyer actually did time for actually doing what he wanted. And his lawyer so if his lawyer got time for it, who ordered his lawyer to do that shit? Him.
No, I'm not saying the man's innocent. I'm saying why though? Why did they do all this? For what? What was the point?
Because he gets away with everything. That's what the point was.
They wanted to prove that he was
They wanted a count. Yes.
Yeah, we know it.
We
know he's a criminal.
Yeah.
We've been knew.
But as long as we know he's a criminal, but it's not on paper. It's not on paper. This is on paper now. This is on legal paper that he's officially a criminal now. So now, you know what that also does? Because if they said this was his weakest case out of all his counts and all the trials he got. This is the weakest one. So this sets precedence for all these other cases. Because if he gets off on this, there's a strong chance he doesn't go to court for none of the other charges he's been brought against for. Or they just keep pushing this shit back until infinity.
And here's the thing with those, TJ. Excuse me. A lot of those cases are in other states where they've been pro him. So if he thinks this judge, who again, the judge is just the person presiding over what the public, the jury of your peers, now not technically, but the jury of your peers is the ones who convicted you. The judge just carried it over, carried the sentence. So yes, this was to make him
the same jury, Dan. The same jury that his lawyers agreed to have on the stand to be in the juror.
That part
you
too.
You can strike as you have a number of strikes of removing people from off the jury. So his lawyers had to agree to or accept whoever they accepted on his jury. So I don't know how that gets lost in this whole shit either, because his lawyers said, okay, these 12 people give us the best shot to win this case, not the best shot to lose this case, or the best shot for a mistrial, or whatever strategy they had. His lawyers agreed to that, and they failed at their job. Yeah, that's all. When you lose, that means you failed at your job.
They didn't. Yeah. They didn't fail at their job because there was no. Listen, Trump went on that campaign about this being a smear thing because his lawyers and everybody was prepared for him to get found guilty on some of these counts. Because the thing is, they couldn't defend it. They had invoices that were fake. You can't. There's no way to defend a fake invoice. There's no way to defend a fake check. There's no way. There's no defense of that. So they had the fake invoices. They had the fake checks. They had everything. He was basically caught with his hand in the cookie jar. It was basically a formality that some of these counts was going to get. There was no way of defense against them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, word. It ties to everything y'all said. Like, yo, fucking his lawyer. If your lawyer goes down for the same it's not the same charges, but it represents the same fucking case. It's the same situation, but the lawyer got to go to jail. Your lawyer got to go to jail, and guess what? The result, in my opinion, of this, he ain't going to jail. Number one.
Well,
number two, he's not going to jail for almost any of this. But number two, I think this just won him the fucking election again.
Well, here's my thing. Here was my point. So each count carries up to from a 0 to 4 year sentence, right? But they can put it all as one count. So the max he can get is 4 years. The minimum he can get is no jail time, right? So I'm saying, if we really want to set precedent, if we really want something to prove in this country, if we really want to take this man down, why won't this judge say, hey, Donald Trump, 4 years? That's the sentence.
No.
And send his ass to prison.
You know what I think?
We got to wait.
I think he'll get house arrest.
Why not?
I think the max he would get, if anything, would be house arrest for like 4 months. Which would fuck him up because he can't campaign. He can only campaign from Mar-a-Lago.
If we're not sending him to prison, then what is this for? Send that man to prison. Why can't that judge go, hey, 4 years and hit the gavel thing and cuff my man up?
They sentencing.
Wow.
Sentencing is in July.
July 11th.
Sentencing is in July. Plus, he has to pay to appeal by a certain time. I don't know if that went through yet, because that by the time we're talking about this shit, the time already passed. I think
they can't appeal until after the sentence is done. That's when they can appeal.
Oh, okay.
The other court case he lost, he's got to pay all them fines back. Everybody was saying he didn't have the money to pay those fines back, so he's in trouble with that. They're saying that his money is low, his campaign is going to shit, all of this stuff. So why are we to perceive that this man's not going to prison? Why can't that judge sentence him to the 4 years and throw him up in there? What is stopping him?
Curtis just said in Instagram comments. Curtis said, "Why can't? No, let me say exactly what he said. What if Biden pardoned Trump?"
Drop out the campaign, I'll pardon you. You know what I mean? Try it.
Yeah, Ty. You would Ty, the weight of you being the first judge to ever sentence a former president of the United States, dog. That man's getting death threats. He probably has to leave the country type shit, bro. There's a lot of ramifications behind that.
He's probably getting all them threats right now.
So we can't. So we.
But it'll be ramped up even more if he says.
So this is all irrelevant to me because we gotta have a presidential candidate that just got convicted of 34 felonies that can't go to prison because the judge is scared of what's going to happen, and this guy is going. And so far, what I'm hearing is that his same supporters, this has not tainted them at all. So this guy can still end up winning the presidency of the United States, and we wonder why America is looked at as a joke.
Yeah. What I heard was,
but Todd, even before this trial started, they said if Trump was ever convicted, they would still vote for him.
Yeah, right. So,
and they said that allegedly within, I hate the poll numbers because it's like who are you polling? But allegedly, his stock was supposed to drop only like 2% in polling numbers. So that ain't really shit. But then again, he's got all these. He got all these other cases in other states that'll be more favorable to him. But they can't, there's nothing that they can do about the New York case. So now, like you said,
here's the difference though, Dan.
We gotta actually see him get time.
So all this money, all these tax dollars, all these lawyers, all these judges, all of this media, everything that's covering this is for what? Nothing.
Nothing. The only way I see him actually doing time is for taking those documents that he never returned. That's a Fed charge, and the government don't play. Like, they don't give a fuck who you are. I think that would be the only case where he'd actually have to do some serious time. And he's lied out his ass about, he didn't have to return shit because he was the president of the United States. That Supreme Court ruling on whether the president of the United States should have immunity to anything. I think that plays a part into that too.
The important thing though with that case is where is that case being held? Because it all ties Florida. To if he's going to see something, not see something. Where is it being held? If this one's being held in Florida with the whole Mar-a-Lago situation, and he's going to walk from that one. I don't look, and please, anybody watching this, don't ever think that this is a fucking podcast that supports that monkey. No, we don't. We don't support that shit one bit at all. Sometimes truth is truth, and the way that motherfucker has he's got them galvanized to come out and vote, and if he loses, they're ready. Like, some of these people are legitimately ready to do civil war type shit.
Here's the good thing. Now, there's always a silver lining in the bright spots to this, and I won't be the one to throw it out there, right? All of you, anybody listening to this, if you ever been a convicted felon, just know that you too can be president of the United States. So now, hands up to the felons. Don't worry about that felony conviction now, because it don't mean shit. Because you could be president of the United States one day, even with your felony convictions. You know what I'm saying?
Which is crazy.
And all your jobs, all your companies, take that off your applications now. Go ahead and take it off.
That's what I was getting ready to lead into, Tyrone, to TJ.
You are exactly right.
How crazy is it that there's really it doesn't seem like there's a law on that you can, like, just think, this just the concept. Because, kids, I'm sorry, let's keep it real also. Again, not anybody can just be president, hint, hint. And I'll leave that there. But you telling me you are the fucking president, you can be the president as a felon. Like you said, Tyrone, every job in this country, if you got a felony on your resume, it doesn't matter anymore.
Take that shit off.
Are you just a human being? Right? Like, are you just a human being?
Right, but when the reason there's no law on it, because you would never think a presidential candidate or a former president would ever in the history of history In the times of all times, nobody would put themselves in this type of situation in the first place. You wouldn't have no shit touching you on any level to put yourself in that predicament. Why are you in this predicament in the first place? Why you have 91 charges again? 91? Dudes is barely getting 5 or 6, and it's a problem. You got to get washed from the. Your shit is over. Your shit is over. 3 charges, your shit is over.
Catching football
91 dogs? 91 dogs? Why are you in this position? You put yourself in this position, all right? There's no way that we shouldn't even, first of all, we shouldn't even be discussing this. This should be something that should have never been brought up, ever. We should be talking about their policies, what they're about, this, that, and the third, everything except charges of a federal felony offense. Are you kidding me? There's no way you should be. When the founding fathers wrote the Constitution, they was like, "Yeah, man, what if you catch a Fed charge?" They was like, "What? Who's catching a Fed charge? Nobody here is catching a Fed charge unless they catch me red-handed with my gun after I shot a person or something like that." There's no way that this should even be a topic of discussion.
Now, I ask y'all a serious question. Does this taint in any way Biden's presidency? Because for me, it's like, okay, so Biden was president, we went through his presidency, right? And now it's still like, this can't even combat the fact that people are still going to vote for this man against you. So does this kind of say something about Biden's presidency, that people are still going to vote for Trump after this? Like, they're still calling this a close race after
regardless of all of that, this is the way that it was moving already. And people talking shit about Joe Biden aren't even talking shit about policy. They're just talking shit about him, the person. Pay attention to that part when you hear people talking shit about him. But in other ways, Biden is tainting himself. He's tainting himself in the area that is something that I've grown to feel really strongly about, but we have yet to talk about on this show, Free Palestine, so you'll kind of understand what I'm saying. But Biden has really, really, really been on the wrong side of history with that alone. And a lot of people who did, and that's the only point I'm going to make on this, then TJ can answer, but that is the point that a lot of people are hanging their hat on right now, and so close to election time.
Here's my thing, and this is why I'm an independent voter right now. The Democratic Party failed to get a younger person to run against this, because if it was a younger person, this wouldn't be even a contest, in my opinion, because it'd be a fresher person, new ideas. You can't go on Feeble Joe. He can't walk downstairs. None of that shit would apply, okay? And the fact that they wanted to run it back is asinine to me. It makes no sense. Like, why would you want to run it back? Let Joe run his one and groom the next person to come. You had 4 years to groom somebody to come up and do like Obama did. Start speaking, doing these huge speaking engagements, outreach, grassroots, the whole shit. Build a buzz. And now with the Trump going to court, it would have been a landslide. It would have been a wash, because now you got this clean, pristine person coming in, fresh out with new ideas, new policies, new everything. And it wouldn't have, then Trump wouldn't even try to have no type of debate with this person, because he knew he wouldn't be able to win against that, because the person would have been so sharp and pointing out all his flaws of what he did and didn't do or said he was successful at. He would have pulled no punches.
TJ, the first time he ran, people pulled his whole fucking resume, and he still won.
Right.
And I'm saying our country is that dumb that people really want this man back in office. Because it's go ahead.
How much does the keeping it 100 thing play a part in this? we live in a whole let's keep it a buck, let's keep it 100 era. So when they pulled out Trump's card, and Trump was like, he basically was like, "Yeah, I did that shit."
Nah,
that
he
was a long time
denied.
ago.
No,
I did this shit when I was younger. A lot of that stuff, Trump was just
Right.
like, "Yeah, I did that shit." You know what I mean? And
no,
people were just like,
but
"Oh well," you
a
know.
bunch of Tyrone, but a bunch of the
Trump
shit.
never
like,
admitted to anything, bro.
exactly.
He never admitted to
He
anything,
doesn't
bro.
admit to his. He didn't admit to what he just got 34 felony counts for.
That was because that was a felony. I'm talking about all of the bullshit as far as his personality is concerned. As far as like him being an asshole. As far as
Bro,
like
he won't admit that he lost. He won't
mistreating
admit
women.
that he lost the election.
Do
He won't even admit that he lost, bro. Your man
Yeah,
can't
but
even
they-
admit that shit. If he didn't
Yeah, but
admit that
the
he
problem
started
is-
the January 6th shit either.
Here's the problem with not admitting things. If you have plausible deniability, right? You can plausibly deny everything, and if companies and whoever you're denying the plausible deniability against has to prove it. And so if Biden's administration was willing and able to say, here's the proof that Trump lost, Trump couldn't run with it. He's running with it because they can't prove that what he's saying is not true.
Well, no, well, you said not
They
lost.
did. No, they did.
They did show all that.
They did. They proved that shit.
They
They
pulled
proved all
they
that shit.
pulled all his cards, and like he denies them till using what you said, that plausible deniability. But he denies the whole fucking way.
What was even worse was some of the judges that he appointed wouldn't even take cases for the election fraud. They was like, get that shit out of here. It's bullshit. You guys are coming with these weak ass arguments. You have nothing substantial to show. Oh, this guy had some. Oh, there was 1,000 votes stolen in a truck, or that's why Fox News had to pay all that money to the ballot people, because they couldn't. They said all these lies on TV, and they had to pay him damn near $1 billion in fines to say that, you know what, we can't say this on TV anymore.
Yep.
There was nothing wrong with the election process. There was nothing wrong with the voting machines. There was nobody was doing election fraud. This was one of the cleanest elections run, and election fraud is like 1% of you losing. 1%. We're talking about the entire population of the United States, and you're gonna pick out 1% that said this shit was election fraud. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, he could deny. It doesn't work. You're getting convicted. But the issue is he going to see time? And I don't think he's going to see time.
Hey, Al Gore did it too.
But you know what's crazy?
Al Gore didn't win.
Did the same thing.
Al Gore didn't win.
He didn't win though.
He lost, and he said the election was rigged, and he did the whole same thing. Said they cheated.
That was George Bush's brother and everything like that. We're not going to get into that, but
they did cheat. Wasn't that the era of the hanging Chad?
The hanging Chad.
That was
the
the
hanging
era.
Chad. Yes.
So yeah, there was
The
actual
Chad.
cheating going on.
But-
That was the difference.
But Ty, look at all of the people that got locked up that worked with or for Trump. It's a laundry list. How many lawyers lost their practices and licenses? Look at what Giuliani's going through right now. Look at what the guy who just got locked up, I forgot his name. Bannon is still going to court on some other shit. Like, there's a laundry list of people that have worked for him or campaigned with him that are either in jail or face or face felony charges.
Because it's always if you lay in the bed with a dog, you're gonna get fleas, and that's just what that is.
Rudy Giuliani.
That next man up mentality didn't work here. You know what I'm saying?
I say Rudy Giuliani, he just lost his license to where he can no longer practice. So now guess who he's gonna have to call? Call Top Dog. Them niggas need to sponsor us too. Top Dog Law, come, we'll big you up. We'll find you new clients every episode. But yeah. So to the person who was the kickoff member of the Hall of Ignorance and the Kuntan clan when this all started, there's no need to re-induct the person for a third or fourth time But congratulations. Just like the guy we showed before,
He's
you
number one.
played yourself. You played yourself. We done, Tyrone. You know what to do.
It was a good show, I'm just saying. I want to let everybody know who's watching, and anybody who might see this later. I am not supporting Trump in any way whatsoever. I just want to make that clear a second time. I know sometimes I sound supportive, but that's not what this is. It's just I was stating what I feel factually, and not in support or standing by or Magna. None of that is not my not what I'm into. And yeah, I enjoyed the show. And I'm glad that we can actually see, this is the thing too. We can talk politics on here too. Like people go, "Oh, stay away from religion, stay away." Well, I don't have to stay away from nothing when I talk to these men, and that is so refreshing in this world. I can't get over that. You know what I mean? There's no topic that we have to stay away from. It's nothing that we can't talk about. It's nothing that we can't have an opinion on, and that's why we got the best show on the planet. And I'm gonna stand on it. PJ?
Niggable planet. Yeah. That was funny. Shout out to Curtis. Yo, shout out to my boys in the comments today. Yo, we're thorough. Yo, we're on it today. I appreciate that. Yes, support your local club, bathroom cologne entrepreneur. Some of y'all be going in there funky and coming out funky. You need a little spritz. You know what I'm saying? But again, this was a dope show. The topics is always on point. We always come with solid opinions and how we feel about it, and it's in a my opinion. It's not in my opinion. It's facts kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people take their opinion as facts, and that's just not the case, bro. That's just not the case, because you're going to end up looking like your man who's calling in the Zoom call for driving with a suspended license to the judge. That's the way you look right now. That's the way you look right now. And you know what you're going to hear? Dead silence, because nobody's going to fucking understand how you even said that or why you even did that. But again, another dope show. Shout out to Hook Rubs and Spices over my shoulder here. And I can't wait to look forward to next week. This was a really a good show today.
And of course, when it's my turn, all the noise comes. Shouts out to Curtis. He says, "Love you guys, different perspectives. No pause, yo, when you gotta tell another brother we love you. You know what I'm saying? We should stop being afraid of that shit." But the words of the day were depth. I forgot the other one we said. And dumbass. So you get a little D&D action. And dumbass was the words of the day today. Don't be a deep dumbass though. That's all. Just don't be a deep dumbass. But yeah, man, a great show. Shouts out to Hook Rub as always. 20% off your order using the code START5. Shout out to the brothers O and Jamal, who were both on assignment today. I think the assignment is Jamal is hallelujah and Big O might be hallelujah in the toilet. I think that's why he may not be here today. Just talking shit.
Yeah, that porcelain guy.
Big O is a porcelain preacher. He's a porcelain preacher. He's preaching from the porcelain pulpit. And he's preaching from the porcelain pulpit today.
And the bowl
and the bowl said, "I shall flush your sins from your body."
Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? Hey,
flush.
Damn. And we done. Remember to always use a virtual background. Peace to what is it, Jamal? Disabled planets.
Niggable planets.
Disabled planets. And niggable planets.
Peace to Ishtar.
Peace to Ishtar. And peace to El Magic. We'll see y'all next week.